Symbolism has been shown in a variety of perspectives from different eras and time zones, which elaborate on how this topic has changed society. Through examining artwork from the Northern Renaissance, Surrealism, and contemporary artist John Bergerman, society has gained an understanding on the significance of symbols over time. The Northern Renaissance was influenced by the Italian Renaissance, but it was very distinct from it in its centralization of political power. It took place in Europe north of the Alps. The entire idea behind the Renaissance was the belief in human freedom and man being able to perfect his own life and society. It was also related closely to the Protestant Reformation. Rome was a large influence to the northern painters in the 16th century, and through this they became known as the Romanists. Artists such as Michelangelo and Raphael created an important impact on their work. As Renaissance humanism and Italian artworks and monuments inspired numerous painters to explore Roman themes, Northern Renaissance painters were able to develop themes and unique matters such as landscape and genre painting. Looking into the art of the Northern Renaissance, we see work which depicts late Gothic art and Reformation ideology. God was a very powerful figure in the eyes of the Europeans. They saw him in every aspect of their life, but controversies about the art did exist. An example of this emerged from one of the most significant artists during the Northern Renaissance, John van Eyck. He had perfected the concept and techniques of oil painting as he had painted the Arnold Foley portrait. This painting of his held up questions of whether it was showing a marriage, engagement, or something completely different. The most important aspect of this painting is shown through the symbolism of the small objects. They are not to be shown so prominently, but noticed at a second glance. The dog in the painting is said to indicate loyalty or fidelity between the two people. Just like this one work of art, there are other large and small scales of symbolism shown throughout artwork during the Northern Renaissance. Surrealism was a 20th century cultural movement in art and literature which took place in Europe between World War I and World War II. Originally, the movement emerged from the earlier Dada movement, but Surrealism was able to express positivity. It challenged the potential of the unconscious mind with the best known visual arts and writings. The goal was to combine dream and fantasy in a world of reality. Surrealism presented itself from a psychological process rather than a logical one. Much of the artwork of the time was heavily influenced by early painters such as Hieronymus Bosch, Francisco Goya, and contemporary artists such as Odilon Redon, Giorgio de Chirico, and Marc Chagall. Surrealist art highlighted numerous methodological researches and experimentations. However, the entire history of the movement is overflowing with eliminations, desertions, and personal attacks. In regards to symbolism shown throughout Surrealism, we can clearly see from the works of art that this work is not meant to be comprehended in a practical sense. It is meant for the audience to create their own interpretation from the piece. Specific artists such as Salvador Dali, Pablo Picasso, and Frida Kahlo have immensely shown symbolism within their paintings. Dali is known for his famous painting titled The Persistence of Memory, which depicts melting clocks. Evidently, the objects are not painted in a realistic sense. However, their representation holds a vast meaning behind the work. The clocks indicate the passing of time as we live our everyday lives and how it is slipping away whether we are aware of it or not. Another famous piece is created by Pablo Picasso, which is titled Weeping Woman with Handkerchief. The woman in the painting is drawn using a variety of colors and shapes as she cries. It represented a silent protest of the bombing in Guernica. It clearly depicts a tragic incident without blatantly painting a picture of the bomb and injured citizens. I found pieces from Surrealism to be the most interesting to me, as they were unlike any other works of art. While researching different surrealists, it seemed as if each one of their paintings was a visual riddle which needed to be solved. I enjoyed as my mind went through this thought process. As we look at the present day, we see contemporary artist John Bergerman, who shows symbolism in his own unique way. Bergerman is a graphic designer and artist who currently lives in New York and was born in England. He was well known for his creative doodles and changes in themes. His ideas shift from fine art, pop culture, and urban art. Much of his work shows a high level of controversy throughout his present-day audience. The artist enjoys incorporating multiple colors and illusion-like drawings in his work, and it seems as if everything is jumbled together because the message of the art is not given at first glance. The reason he had shifted his life from England to New York was because he wished to be more engaged with his audience. He wanted his viewers to feel as if they were a part of the creativity and his journey to reach there. Bergerman has been an amazing inspiration in his desires to challenge himself. By doing so, he has challenged society to take a deeper look into the art. All of his creations are non-realistic and may show cartoon-like figures or animations. And this is what he had aimed for, as though he uses symbolism. When comparing the three time periods artwork of the Northern Renaissance, Surrealism, and contemporary artist John Bergerman, we see that they all share the theme of such symbolism which is not seen as often in other time eras. Over time, the sense of an illogical or unrealistic expression placed in the works of art increased. During the time of the Renaissance, everything was more straightforwardly displayed as opposed to the present day. Paintings consisted of witchcraft, religious ideals, and other conflicts which contained some symbolism hidden within the art. As we move through the time eras, the symbolism becomes more and more drawn into the art. Surrealism contains nothing less than this. The creativity put into the concepts is evidently where the beauty lies. Rather than painting regular images and making it simple for the audience, the artists of the time enjoy challenging society along with themselves. The whole concept behind surrealism is using irrational or unnatural uses of imagery which highlight the key messages of the piece. Lastly, the most symbolic works are from contemporary artist John Bergerman, who has provided realistic notions through unrealistic and animated images. The challenge of connecting with the artist's interpretations has increased through the multiple eras. However, each has shared the common theme of symbolism to capture the essence of why the artwork was created in the first place.